Welcome back, fellow armchair generals. This is Gamer 1745 here with my continuing playthrough of Hearts of Iron 3 with Black Ice 8.52. Alright, well, let's get into this. One thing I do want to say is I really try to respond to all the posters who post on the forum below the videos. And there's sort of a notification system that I normally get that says, new posts and what threads are below there. If you don't see me replying, you can always give it a little bump or a poke or something, again on there. Either somehow I missed it, because once in a while I do find that I missed something, and it's like, oh, 3 days ago somebody posted, why didn't I know about that? Or something like that. So I do really want to, if minimum, acknowledge, because sometimes they're not a question or a particular comment that has a significant reply, shall we say, but it'd just be, thanks for posting or something simple, just so you know that I've seen it and read it, because I do appreciate all of you who take the time to. So again, if you see that I haven't replied to something, particularly, of course, if you do have a question, a comment, a suggestion that you think I should want to, you'd want me to know about, you can give it a poke if after a day or two you haven't noticed that I've replied to it. Happily have you do that. So that's just that. Now we're going to continue after we just lost my sort of transport fleet and its escorts here, which is very disappointing. Yeah, blockade my retreat there. Okay, well, and they're attacking Manila. That's a spoiling attack. Now I don't know what to do here. Part of my defense plans here has always been the idea that I could withdraw, because I'd have fleets somewhere nearby. They're exhausted. They're okay. They're okay. Well, we're going to try to hold Manila. Okay, damage control systems advance for escorts. And that's grayed out, isn't it? Oh no, it's this one over here. Okay, there we are. So we're gonna stop that, which frees up a little bit of leadership. Well, now we are in 44, so I've already been doing a bunch of these techs that I'm relatively happy in pushing forward on. Don't know quite how well. Some of the speed for that, yeah. Let's do engines. We do have lots of armor, including upgraded old infantry tanks. And they're still sort of making attacks. Well, they've not done too much to eliminate the pockets. Partially that, I think, is just simply the AI's desire to surround a pocket before attacking it, as opposed to just going in and taking out whatever partisans there are. Okay, partisan suppression has advanced. Good. Well, these also need to be done, which will greatly help. Looks like the Japanese have sailed on. But with that reinforcement, I think we'll leave both those guys there. And yes, they're getting... Okay, and we've won the Battle of Manila, and they've started another Battle of Manila. There are some U.S. units that have been lent to the Japanese, but I mean to the Filipinos, what am I saying? So those should be relatively good. Infantry unit training is advanced. And small warship classes has advanced, which I believe is also grayed out, so... Well, we need to get all these to get that, which will help a lot. And that looks like a lot of fuel is returned to the depot. Well, let's advance up to the river here. Looks like they will catch up. They're a bit slower because they don't have transportation. I sent these unescorted vessels here to pick up the Kuwaiti garrison, loaded onto the ships, and we're going to send it up to Kuwait. Might as well rebase. But I'm definitely not sending these unescorted ships anywhere near the Japanese fleet that might be able to hit it. We've got much of the Mediterranean locked down with a lot of air power at least. So one thing, generally speaking, don't like the fairly large sea zones of the new game, which makes light vessels, because I like using, particularly as Germany, the light PT boat type stuff that could definitely operate in the sea zone of, say, the Channel, or this part of the North Sea. You know, this is sort of out where the Jutland battle happened. But they can get out there. Those boats can spend days out at sea. Maybe a particular model can't. But generally, between fuel and food on board and water, they can, spend days out at sea quite readily. They just don't have the range to, say, leave Norway and operate out here, or even leave Norway and, yes, a lot of boats, small fishing boats, went from Norway to some of these islands out here, smuggled people back and forth, but that's different than operating at high power and whatnot. So I would like to see the sea zones shrunk, but I sort of like, now I know I'm not as you well know, big naval battle player, so I'd like the naval battles, the naval activity to be as historically accurate as possible. I'm all for that and that kind of thing, but I'm just looking for a reasonable system that I can play that does it. So I sort of like some of the aspects of Hearts of Iron 4 naval stuff over 3. I can still use improvement. Okay, we are, that was again, pack front. That was one that I sort of delayed doing for quite a while because it reduces speed, but we're not going anywhere fast for those units. And it definitely helps in other ways. Okay, well, looks like we're getting some of our production running a little better. Yeah, we're gonna see if we can hold here. Hopefully some of these units here that are somewhat exhausted will get resupplied either by Lend-Lease or some other element from the US. They can't send supplies to here. So, cruiser fire control. I think that is, yeah, grayed out ends. So, another thing, of course, is I think I mentioned earlier, maybe a bit more of the Hearts of Iron 4 stuff, but I love the new mechanic for colonies, puppets, whatever you want to call them, and they've sort of arbitrarily given them, puppet as sort of lower than a colony, as in how much control and benefit the we don't need to do that. That's how much benefit and status, because things under certain colonial situations, new units get, yeah, I think I can say this, so I'm going to say it, get sent under certain statuses, get sent over to the ruler, the ruling country. So let's just say that if Ireland was a under a certain puppet colonial whatever level status, and I'm not going to run the details, but they build a new unit, it gets sent over as an expeditionary force to Britain if it's the right status, so that they'll build new stuff, they'll give it to Britain to command. Now you can, as a if you're playing the country, you can recall your expeditionary forces, so that they don't have to go there if you're human, but the AI will have a sort of basic defense force for it, and then start turning over the rest of your forces that you create to your central command. So that way, it's fabulous. So you can have, this is why I don't like the Raj in the British Raj in Hearts of Iron 4, is because a lot of the resources in production are used in India, and if it's AI, it's sort of bad. It's good because it's still well defended against a Japanese attack, but if you're a human and can make the better judgments, I would much rather direct control like we are here. I can make intelligent decisions, maybe wrong and bad in that I may send all of the Indian army over here and have it excuse me, get pocketed and crushed, and then Japan gets to run rampage over India. Or if I don't have any occupation forces, there could be a bunch of uprisings, whether scripted or just simply revolt risk, that you have a bunch of, revolts blaring out all over India because you don't have an occupation force. And so, that could all, if I make stupid moves, but at least I have the chance to make those decisions. Well, if you create under the old system that is sort of an independent country that's a puppet, yeah, it sends some resources and does some things, but you don't get to make the control. Well, now, depending on the status of level of colony or puppet, they will be turning over excess forces beyond a basic sort of stay-at-home defense force, and I don't. Yeah, well, so that way you can get these various nice scripted units that Black Ice gives us. They won't be quite as obviously as colorful and historically based, but they will be that type of thing, so that we can send them off to Burma, or we can send them off to fight in North Africa. Sorry about all that. Or something like that, if we so choose. And so that kind of thing, really, the new stuff, like I've said before, there are some things here with Hearts of Iron 4 that are just literally next level capabilities over what Hearts of Iron 3 can be. That doesn't excuse bad AIs and other bad decisions that they've made. It doesn't excuse just other things that they want to do better but haven't. Some of it is just, quite honestly, and I can just, it's just simply time and resources to get stuff done. Not that they don't see what they want to do and haven't done it. It's just time and resource management to get the stuff done, that some of the stuff that we all sort of expect and think to be done, it just isn't because of that. And it's just that simple of an answer to some of the issues. So, okay. Soviet Union gets the Tuvan People's Republic annexes it. Okay. And we have commerce defense advance, so that will help our escorting efficiency. Let's just, we're going to stop that because it's pushing too far ahead, and I'd like some African recruitment. Expand our colonial forces that we were just sort of talking about in the new way that they are set up with Hearts of Iron 4. As you can tell, I have very strong mixed feelings about Hearts of Iron 4. Oh, we want to do that party rally. All the great elements, immersive elements that we find like in this, that I know we both really like. We, as in most of my viewers here, and I like as well, are lacking. But that comes under some of its design philosophy. Some of the stuff has to sort of be somewhat, at least, railroaded, scripted, however you call it. Of course, you can script it so that certain events don't happen unless certain conditions happen. Without forcing you to make the decisions, shall we say. Okay, so we've got medium, well, we've got that up to 44. Okay, we need Okay, the big thing we're needing to do is upgrading the engines. So yeah. Where is that happening? Okay, just way out here. Come on, US. Take these islands away from them. And they won't have the basing to base their submarines out there to take out my convoys. Yeah, well. Let's see if we can get across this river before they... So I'm sort of, do we try to hold along the river, or do we here hold the river? Because I think we get a bonus there. Or do we want to hold here to then attack here, or, you know, attack from here to not have the river? I don't know. The question partially comes down to is, do we have enough forces to do so? Yeah, we knew you were going to do that. Well, it looks like Germany cleaned up most of the pockets now, or all of the pockets. Don't know if the Soviets were really able to take advantage and push any further forward. It looks like they're making some headway here, from what I remember before. Well, I think we're going to end the episode here. Thanks for watching. Thanks for liking the videos. No, this was fairly short, but we're going to continue on. More historical gaming and more Hearts of Iron next time.